Alright guys, before I start, I just want to say thanks for all the support lately. You strangers are definitely helping grow this channel every day. These do take a while to put together, so I'd appreciate if you could just pause for a moment, give this video a like, and if you're new to my videos, hit that subscribe button below. Also, if you're interested in the first 10 hours, then I'll link that in the description below also. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Hello strangers, how's it going, and welcome to another video. So today we're going to go over part 2 of my 20 hours at Bandits. On the first 10 hours we did cliffside rotation without any violent mobs, but this time we're going to go over 10 hours of grinding violence at Bandits. So this was done with the Blessing of Camisilve and the Blackstone event active. I am thinking of redoing this without the Blackstone event sometime in the future. I don't really know what the drop rates for the Blackstones are on the violence without the Blackstone event going, and the Blackstones were definitely the majority of my income during this grind. So I do think it's worth revisiting another time without the event active so I can show you the true earnings. But this is me just grinding away for 10 hours, with or without the event. I would still be grinding at Bandits anyways, so let's just get into the final 10 hours and the total earnings over the 20 hours. So we're going to go over the rotation and the location of the violent mob spawns within the Gahaz Bandits area before we get into all the loot. So if you're not interested in this part, you can skip to a time. I'll put it up on screen now, but if you want to know the rotation I took throughout the video, just stick around for the next few minutes. So building a rotation for violent mobs is kind of hard to do because other people are grinding away there. They may be killing violent mobs, which make you have to move on to the next one and hope there's another Shadow of Gahaz in the next spawn. But even if there are no violence, you are able to just grind away at the regular bandits until you're able to hop worlds and run the rotation again. This rotation is pretty large and it's definitely going to be hard to show you guys, but if you're familiar with the bandits area, you should be able to follow this rotation pretty easily. So let's just get into an overview and we can go over the rotations that contain the violent mobs within Gahaz. So to get to the start of the rotation, you'll need to follow this path. We'll start at the town of Shikatu and head towards the bandits. Once over here, we'll go over the rotations for the Shadow of Gahaz mobs. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is mark out the violence in the path. This was a rotation I took throughout the 10 hours, and if there are any missing violence on the way, I would just move on to the next one while grinding regular mobs on the way. So the path I took will be marked in the blue, the violent spawns will be in the pink, and the yellow will signify that the path continues to a different area. So let's go over this, and then I'll run the path on my ranger, showing you all the violent spawns. So I hope that's enough information for you to understand the rotation I took throughout the grind. Now we're going to go over my 10 hours at Elites, and then we can move on to the 20-hour total at the end. So the grind for Violent Bandits was not the funnest task. I definitely recommend at least 170 AP and 230 DP. These violent mobs have some pretty hard hitting back hits and knockdowns, and knockdown crystals might be helpful here if you are grinding here for a long time. I'll also use Gahaz Villa over the 10 hours, activating the AP and XP buffs available there, as well as using food to help with some extra AP. I'll also say that I'm a 59 ranger with 190 AP and 238 DP at the time of this grind. I have 2 tier 2 pets and 2 tier 1 pets at level 10, and this node was not leveled at all while grinding here, and my character's luck is maxed out at 5. So throughout this 10 hours, I would hop every 15 minutes to maximize the amount of violent mobs I killed. Most worlds I hopped would have at least 2 to 7 violence, but there were times where I'd hop and there'd be no violence at all. At this point, I'd either grind it out on regular mobs, or maybe I'd hop to another character and get some life skilling done. I'd pause the timer if I did hop to another character, but if I kept killing bandits on my main, I would leave the timer going. But after 15 minutes was up, I would usually hop to another world, then run the rotation and see if there was any other violence on that server. Over the 10 hours, I would say I managed to kill around 80 to 120 violence, and this is just an estimate I'm making. Maybe if I do decide to redo this, I will get an exact amount of violence that I killed. But anyways, I did have times where I died over those 10 hours, but 2 of the times was because of lag, which really annoyed me because of useless XP loss. But once I did die to one of the violence, this was because of their hard back attacks and me lacking focus on grinding, but other than that, it did go pretty smoothly. I was PK'd once within the 10 hours, which really wasn't bad, and I didn't manage to get much XP from this grind because of all my death, but I did manage to get an hourly experience rate while grinding these elites. So of course the experience won't be as much as just focusing on the regular mobs, but there is a trade-off in grinding violence because you will be making more silver. But before we go over what we earned, let's just talk about experience for a second. So I started this grind at around 25% and only ended at 28%. If I managed to stay alive most of the time, I would say I'd be around 32 to 33%, but since my deaths kind of messed up my experience and my average rate over the 10 hours, I did grind for an extra hour to keep track of the experience that I got. So within that hour, I managed to grab about 0.48% per hour, but in 10 hours of non-violence, I was getting around 0.75%. This means while grinding violence, you can expect it to be around 30% slower experience-wise. But here's the experience you can expect to gain out of violent rotations. Of course, this is not 100% because people grind at different speeds and play different classes, but me, as my 59 ranger, I was averaging around 0.48% without any boost, and you can expect about 0.96% on the weekend, 1.44 on your 200% daily boost, and upwards of 1.92 on your daily and weekend boost. But yeah, unfortunately, I was careless enough to die a lot throughout this 10 hours and only grab myself 3% within it, and that's with some 200% boost also. But finally, let's just get into how much silver I earned over the 10 hours of grinding violence. So before I show you everything, my guess is that you're wondering if I managed to get myself a Seraphs Necklace. It kinda sucks because they were worth over 45 mil a few weeks ago, but because of the Azula set, this Seraphs Necklace is only around 25 mil now. But yes, I did manage to grab myself the Seraphs Necklace. Only one though. It was around the 8-hour mark and I was pretty sure I was gonna go dry for the full 10 hours, but I did manage to get myself a drop. I'll show it to you guys on screen here, but I was definitely satisfied seeing that drop, and if you're interested in what I did with it, stick around till the end, but let's just go over the 10 hours of loot. So here it is. This is showing you all the drops I got over the 10 hours. If you're interested in the screen, you can pause and look it over, but I will mention my Rosar drops were sold to the NPC because of weight issues and laziness in general. But I also read a comment saying you can melt down the Rosar for the crystals and the metal, but for consistency's sake, I just sold it to the NPC at Gahaz Villa. A few things to mention on the screen is of course the Seraphs Necklace drop and over 400 Blackstones in 10 hours. That's just crazy. Ancient Scrolls also add up to quite a bit, but here you can see the total profit and loss over the 10 hours. So this is what we gained over the 10 hours with taxes included and a value pack active. Our weapons and armor, which was the Rosar, which was all sold to the NPC, bought in about 4.3 mil. Our rare drops, which was the Seraphs Necklace and the magic crystals, bought us about 23.6 mil. Our other drops, which are the ancient scrolls, bought us about 24.1 mil, and our junk drops, or the Gahaz seals, bought us 27.6 million. And because of the Blackstone event, again, I don't know how much the violence are supposed to drop without it, we had over 90 mil worth in Blackstones. This means at the end we had a total profit of 170 million. But we do have to take our losses into account. Our villa would cost 5 mil just for the entry fee, and our potions, repairs, and buffs are 7 mil. I did find I spent more on potions and repairs because of how hard the Gahaz or the Shadow of Gahaz members hit, but in the end our total loss was 12 mil. This means we profited over 158 mil in 10 hours, bringing our silver per hour to about 15.8 mil. So was this worth it? Yes, violence at Bandits has to be one of the best ways to make silver while grinding. 16 mil an hour is pretty substantial, and although the experience is not too great, silver is king. I will say that the Blackstone event was active, but I will redo the 10 hours of violence without it. It would be nice to see how much you can actually make here and if it's still viable without the event. But with over 160 mil silver in 10 hours, I definitely think it outweighs a terrible experience. I would say it takes more to focus on the average grind because a Shadow of Gahaz can easily melt your HP pretty quick, especially with their back attack and knockdowns. But this was definitely worth the effort. Hopping every 15 minutes can also be kind of annoying, especially if you keep hopping to a server without violence. It's probably the best to grind these while not on peak times because usually Bandits is a pretty contested spot. So guys, that's going to be it for this 10 hours. Please leave a like if you enjoyed because these do take a long time to put together. But before we come to an end, I am going to go over my total profit from 20 hours and I have a few extra clips for you to see. So if you're interested in my first 10 hours, I'll also link that in the description below. But let's just go over the 20 hours of loot. So just like before, if you're interested in the screen, you can pause the video now and go over everything, but I'm just going to skip right into the profit of the 20 hours. So guys, finally here it is, the 20 hours all tallied up. This is what we gained with taxes included and a value pack active. So with weapons and armor, we got 6.5 mil, our rare drops bought in 26 mil, other drops bought in 58 mil, our junk drops gave us 68 mil, and the Blackstones over the 20 hours gave us 142 mil, bringing us with a total profit of 302 mil. And of course, if we subtract our profit of 22 mil, we end up with 280 mil over the 20 hours. This means that we gained just under 14 mil per hour, which is really good. So that's it for me guys. I hope you enjoyed this 10 hours of violence and the total of the 20 hours at Gahaz Bandits. I always appreciate the feedback, so let me know what you think about this grind and where should I grind next. As always, please subscribe, it helps out a lot, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Last time I asked to hit 200 likes on my video, which didn't happen, so let's try that again, round 2 of 200 likes. And some of you also may not know that we have a guild that we're slowly building up, so if you have a character over 57 and you have Discord, come hit us up in there, we'll gladly give you an invite. I also have a Twitter and Instagram if you're interested in any IRL updates. But anyways, thanks for watching, strangers. Hope you enjoyed and keep on grinding. Bye, strangers. Oh, I almost forgot about the Seraphs Necklace. So this is basically what happened. I took my ranger back to... Shut the fuck up. I took my ranger back to, what is it? Phi Dao. And then I bought myself a Seraphs Necklace and took my old one, which I got from grinding Bandits, with a fail stack, smashed them together for a prize Seraphs, which was about 50 mil in profit, so I ain't complaining. Thanks, video.